Hey guys, this is Drew with the Freedom Coin Show podcast. Welcome back. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about a coin shop story with Christy and Blake. They got the shop, they got the stories. You guys enjoy.
You have brought to my attention that there was a time in the shop where someone was going to bring a machine gun in and shoot the place up.
Yeah, this is another funny story from the coin shop. One of our customers came in, the usual, and this time he sent, something was a little off with him, and then we could end up smelling the little alcohol in his breath. So he came in a little drunk, and wanted to sell some coins. I think it was 1 ounce gold eagles or gold crew rams or something like that. It was 1 ounce gold pieces. And so he brought them in, and I think he had maybe 5 or 7 of them or something. And he's like, "How much can I get for these?" So we told him the price, and he's like, "Okay, well, no, I don't want to sell them right now. And so he's like, "Well, I want more. And he got agitated about it.
Right.
And thought he should get a lot more for it, and we said no, just wait till the spot goes back up, and then you can get more for it. And so he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go outside and think about it." So he kept walking back out to his vehicle, and swigging a little bottle of vodka or something.
Yeah.
Take the edge off, right?
Yeah. Every time he come back in, he would try to renegotiate the deal. Every time, a little drunker, and so he. So he just wasn't getting what he wanted, so he got really upset. So he's like, "I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna leave." And he goes out and sits in his car, and it's right in front of the front door, so we can see.
Yeah.
He didn't have any tint on his window. We can see him in there, and he's in there like taking swigs off his bottle. And
Of course.
so he comes back in and is like just irate, just going crazy, pushing the door, kicking the door, and until we buzz him in, and he comes in. He's like, y'all stole my coins. You stole my coins. I know my gold coins. Y'all stole them.
Oh, gosh.
I had this many when I came in, and now I have none.
Good Lord.
We kind of tried to tell him, yeah, we put them in a bag for you, a little brown bag, so you wouldn't lose them, and you put them in your pocket, and you went out in your car. And so they're probably somewhere in your car.
Right.
And
or in his pockets.
Yeah, in his pocket or something. So, he's just going crazy and making the biggest scene. And he says, "I'm going to call the cops. I'm calling the cops. So
They always say that.
And so we're like, all right, cool, call the cops on it.
Right, because we don't have our own camera system and everything.
We'll let them know what's going on. So
Yeah.
he called the cops, and then the cop, the HPD came down. And they're like, "What's the problem?" And so they run into him first in the parking lot before they come in the store. They see him in the parking lot, stumbling around, slurring, hollering, and yelling, cursing at himself.
Yeah. So
they kind of like, okay, this is probably the guy we're looking for. Mm-hmm. And so they ask him, and he's just rambling stuff off. So the cop comes in, and he's like, "What's going on with this guy?"
Right.
So we told him, he came in and he wanted sell us some gold and thought it should be more, but the market's lower right now today than it was last week. And so he wasn't understanding or getting it. So he just was upset, and then he said he was leaving, and we put his coins in a little brown bag, and so he said so he wouldn't lose them.
Right.
And so he goes out in his car and comes back in and says that we stole them from him, and then went crazy and called y'all. And so the HPD officer's like, "Okay, let me just go talk to him, go look in his car." I was like, "Yeah, they're probably in his car, in his pocket, I would assume."
Right.
And so they go look through his car. Well, he took it and shoved it under his seat.
Of
took
course.
the bag, and so the cops pulls it out. He's like, "Hey, here's the bag that you're looking for, sir.
Yeah.
How'd it get there?" And he just rambled something else off, and so as the cops trying to talk to him and calm him down, and call in and do his paperwork or his report or whatever, the customer comes back in and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna shoot this place up. I'm gonna get my machine gun and I'm gonna shoot this whole place up. Just wait till I come back. If y'all are here, we'll shoot this whole place up." We're like, "All right," and have fun with that.
Right.
And so the guy goes back outside, and the HPD officer's out there, and at the end of the story, the customer ended up in the back of the HPD officer's vehicle for being really extremely drunk.
Yeah.
And so They did him a favor by taking him to the police station down the road and having his wife come and pick him up instead of him driving the way he was, or arresting him. They just courtesy took him down to the police station.
Let him sober up.
Let him sober up a little bit, but
they couldn't leave him there.
Yeah, couldn't leave him at the shop. Couldn't leave him, at the police station without arresting him.
No,
they did a nice thing. Called his wife. She even actually, hearing about it later, she said, "No, I'm not picking him up."
That would be me as a wife.
So the cop that was trying to do the nice thing is sitting there now like, oh gosh,
now
okay.
I have to babysit him. Great.
So they eventually talked the wife, called her several times and talked her into picking him up.
She's probably like, I'm done dealing with
hours and hours and hours later.
That civil servant, serving the.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny that you have
nice
a story that way. That's not an uncommon thing, I feel like now, because you were out of town one time and I was at the shop with Dwight, or maybe you were just very busy. You weren't in the shop either way. And a lady came in and almost did the exact same thing. She sat down. She was being very cordial with Dwight. He was being very cordial with her. She said she had, I think it was a 50-cent piece or something in her car that she thought was worth something. She said, let me go get it and I'd come right back. Dwight does what he does with everyone, and we do this for that reason, is so people don't think that we're trying to hide stuff or steal stuff from them and all that, or just pocket something. Is he put all her stuff back in her bag first, handed it to her and told her to take it out with her and then just come back in with the other piece. She went out, was out there for a few minutes, came back in, and I was there and I heard her from the back going, you stole my coin. You took my 50-cent piece. I brought it in here and I handed it to you. You went to the back and you left it back there and you never came back out with it. Y'all stole it. And he was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And she was like, oh, I'm going to go get the cops. And she left, but she kept calling. And it was amazing to me how she was calling. It was almost like, I hate to say this, it sounded like me when I was a high school girl, just hated that my boyfriend just broke up with me, the way she would call and the way she was talking to Dwight. Dwight would get off the phone and be like, she's crazy. She was saying stuff like, I'm going to get the cops. And of course, we have no problem with that. We were encouraging her, please bring the cops down. We'll pull our video. She said she had a body camera on her and has the whole thing on video. So I was like, I'd love to review that, to take care of this with my employee. Like, I need to write this. It's crazy how people.
So you guys have procedures for that stuff then?
But Dwight did exactly what he needed to do. I heard what was going on and I stepped in after about the second time she called the shop and was just harassing Dwight over the phone about this. I stepped in and told him, if she calls, hand the phone directly to me and I'll deal with it. She
shut it down quick, huh?
Yeah, she talked to me for 1 second. She didn't want to deal with me anymore. And she knew I was the only person she was going to deal with if she called. And she never showed up. She never called again. Nothing.
Yeah, Dwight was very trying to get something for free in the end, or accuse you for something and say, well, give me this for free, and then I'll stop accusing you of this.
Yeah, or give me the value of what it would have cost me.
Yeah, there's always people out there just trying to get over.
Now, my question is, for this situation where the gentleman was impaired, I know that we don't want to find ourselves in a situation where we have somebody in our shop that is impaired to the point where they're not making rational decisions. What would you advise other coin dealers that own shops to do in a situation like that?
Well, you got to take it serious. Mm-hmm. We knew the guy. We knew that he's a nice guy. We've known him for years and years. At least we figured out that he was drunk, mm-hmm. and not just that was him that day or something. So we kind of figured something was up. We knew him. We knew this is not the type of guy to go grab a gun and go shoot up someplace. So we knew it was the alcohol talking, but that was I guess maybe a rare scenario for us that we knew the person who made the threat or the accusation. So if it was just some random person, you definitely want to take it a lot more serious.
You guys will come out of the back with
so
everything.
No. Granted, we were, when he said that. We were in the showroom. We armed ourselves in the showroom, and we were like, you can say that. You can say whatever you want. It's America.
Yeah.
Right.
But we're here based on what you said. Mm-hmm. So, but then the cop came and took him down to the police station and wait till his wife came. So he didn't even go home till he was probably sleeping at the police station for a couple of hours, and didn't remember a damn thing.
Right. I think, though, if it's just the random person, kind of like in the scenario that Dwight and I had, is we both just stayed very calm, gave the other person no reason to get even more aggressive
work them up.
or worked up or anything.
Don't give them fuel.
Yeah, we stayed extremely calm, and we met them every single threat that they wanted to. She said, I've got a body camera on me and I'm going to show it to the cops. Not a problem. We have our own cameras constantly running 24 hours. Let's review both footages. I'd love to have this conversation with my employee.
And maybe the police will come down and give you a fine for...
Exactly. Yeah. And I told her too, if she really feels like she needs the cops to escort her, please bring them in with her. I'm not one to stop you. If that's how you're going to feel comfortable, if you truly think you stole something from me and have evidence of it, and if I truly have your item, who's to me to stop you? But I think for other people listening to this, the way to handle it is there's no reason to just jump the gun also. Sometimes when you just meet the person at what they're wanting from you, a lot of times they'll just fizzle out and they'll figure they can't get what they want from you and they'll move on.
Yeah, they understand the story's hawked up a wall.
And it doesn't take name calling. It doesn't take being ugly. Sometimes you just meet them at the game that they're playing. If they want to say they've got video, okay, so do we. Let's switchies. You know, if they want to come in and threaten with a machine gun, then obviously you're in a position. Even with the coin shop, that we own, everyone in that shop is very comfortable with arming themselves if they ever felt the need they needed to in our shop. And we've given them every right to feel comfortable if they needed to even pack inside our shop if need be. State of Texas, we are protected by constitutional carry currently. So I feel like I need to say that on the podcast, just so other states understand that we can do that.
Right.
But we want everyone in the shop, to feel if they need to protect themselves at any point in our shop, they can, by any means they feel comfortable doing so. We know we deal in something that's a very high dollar item and is very worth people coming in and threatening us with weapons. So we want our employees to feel that comfortable as well too.
Yeah, and so sometimes there's that issue also when you go into shops and it's like you have coin and precious metals written on the side of a building. Yeah. There's a lot of people there that like have vices that, you know, they run into something they think is valuable and you're the first person they can go to. And it's like, we went to a shop in Alamo Heights in San Antonio and there was a lady that came in there. She couldn't leave one word. Like, it's almost like when you're on something, there's nothing you can leave out, like in terms of a silence. You have to continuously talk and continuously make movements and continuously, it's like you can tell somebody like that.
Right.
And she made a whole thing of herself, and then she picked it all up really quickly and ran out. And it's like, I don't know, it feels like sometimes that could put people in danger, but it's good to have cameras if you can arm yourselves and, you know, any tool you can at your disposal, really.
Yeah, and feeling comfortable with arming yourselves. I know on my Instagram, I strongly encourage all the ladies that follow me to have like a little kid bat or a bamboo stick with them too, because even that, if you're not comfortable with a gun, having something that you can even just keep someone 4 or 5 feet away from you and cause some damage, I think is a great thing to have too if you're comfortable with it.
Right.
Especially if you have employees.
Now, from a legal perspective, and I don't, this is just me being naive, if there is a scenario where there is a person that's impaired by either alcohol or a medical situation that they're in, I guess at the end of the day, is it your judgment call? Are you able to buy something from somebody legally that's impaired? Like if he was to sell you 5 gold coins, right?
Or like a tattoo. Like you can't get a tattoo anymore if you're intoxicated because people make impaired judgment on that.
Or you can't sign a contract when you're intoxicated, various things like that. I don't know. Is there anything legally set out as a law that prevents you from selling X in a scenario like that?
If we go with the latest, what was the latest federal judge? What's her name?
Amy Coney Barrett.
No. The new Biden pick. The one that they asked what's a woman, and she says, "Well, I don't know what a woman is. I'm not a biologist."
Yeah.
So if we play
devil's advocate,
dumb like she did, you know, or just don't know what's going on, or just that, you know, we're in a position where obviously maybe you can tell if someone's drunk or, you know, intoxicated or whatever, but in the end of the day, you know, you're not a toxicologist, according to the, you know, Supreme Court Justice lady.
And we reserve the right to refuse sales to anyone.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, any reason. Yeah, we can refuse, but realistically, we're not a doctor. We're not a cop, or not. We're not certified to tell if someone's drunk or not. And some people are just.
Some people can handle it better than others.
They're not drunk, but that's just the normal way that they walk and talk and act like they're drunk all day, but they do not drink alcohol.
We get some squirrely people in.
Yeah,
We
so
do.
you really can't tell. I mean,
Make
we're
a
not.
judgment call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's something and someone says, "Yeah, I'm wasted," or "I just came
You
from the
can
bar,"
smell it
or
off
"I
of
just
them.
drank a
Yeah.
bottle of alcohol. I want to sell this." Well, then you know. Then you for sure know that they're intoxicated, and then you say, "No, we're not." Come back later. When you're good to
And that
go.
would be the shop's
But yeah, you
fault,
can't.
too.
You really can't tell
And
if
the
someone
shop can
is.
totally buy from someone. Nothing's
yeah.
stopping them.
So,
So what
yeah.
we know.
There's about 100 different diseases too, where it's like someone could walk different, their spine could be messed up, and then you're like,
You just
no,
never
get out of
know.
my shop. You look like you're drunk, and it's. But if someone, I think you have to have that verbal type of talk where someone goes, or you see them out in their car
Yeah.
drinking
Yeah.
something. But I think with the whole situation with that guy, there's no way that he wouldn't have left in a cop car. I mean, you saw
because
him.
either
yeah.
if
I
he
mean-
didn't call the cops on himself,
We would have called.
we would have called the cops.
So someone
on
didn't
that.
get killed.
Just
yeah.
the state that
Yeah,
he
for sure.
continued to put himself in as he was at the shop would have gotten him in jail too if he tried to drive like
Yeah.
that. That alone would have landed him a place in jail.
Yeah,
for
because
sure.
he walked out. I mean, probably 5-7 times and took a swig off a bottle in his car and came
Dang.
back in.
Yeah, midlife crisis.
Oof.
Yes, I don't know what
Who
was
knows?
going wrong with him or medical stuff. Who
yeah,
knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, you just never know who's there. It's like on the same thing. If someone comes in and says, "Hey, I want to sell you my coin," the rules are okay. We need to take your ID. It needs to be a valid ID, and we need to jot it down on the sale, on the purchase order, and you have to sign it, saying that it's your property. Other than that, we have no idea. Did you really go steal this? Did you own it? Did you go buy
Did you
it?
inherit
Did you
Yeah,
inherit
where'd
it?
you
Who
find
knows?
Who knows?
Unless
Nobody-
they say I went out and stole this, or I just I found this in my neighbor's house.
Yeah, there's
You
ways
just
to
never
tell
know.
too. If they start coming in like almost every day with similar
Random stuff that they don't know about.
Oh, yeah, or not even.
That's a
that.
good- yeah, that's a
It's
good,
then that's a little different. But
yeah.
if they come in one day, who's to know that they just didn't happen to? I mean, my best friend's a thrifter. Who's to say that they didn't happen to walk into that Goodwill and that Goodwill just happened to got grandma's collection and score for
Yeah,
me
but-
that day? Like I can't.
But the legal
that.
thing probably is if you know they're intoxicated and they
Is the
sign a
contract-
deal or
yeah,
a
is it
contract,
binding?
then it's probably not binding because you
Yeah.
knew they were impaired.
Yeah, and they made the
Yeah.
decision impaired. Probably that would probably hold up in court, but
Interesting.
yeah, a little different topic there.
It's a topic that, I mean, people, you don't hear about that as far as the coin space.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
no, yeah.
so many different people come through the shop and
All
Yes.
different personalities, all different
yeah,
attitudes.
personalities all over the place. Some people seem normal. Some people seem way out there.
Yeah, and some people are just getting older and deteriorating, and that's also why they're a little bit more off.
And people are living in their own type of environments too nowadays, where it's like that person might have not have been outside their house for 30 days, and you're the first person they see, and their mind is developing what they see as normal.
Yeah,
And they come into your shop, and you're like, bro, what's going on?
yeah. We lost a common normal, I think, 2 years ago. Everyone's just kind of living out their own normal at
Bunch
this
of
point.
zombies, yeah.
Yeah.